Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Lionel?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Bobby.
You okay? Well, how you doing, man? How you holding up?
Oh, health-wise, like I'm good. What are you doing right now? And are you just locked in the house?
Listen, man. I have boulders against the gate. What are you talking about? I have a mask on my cell phone. What are you talking about? I don't trust me.
Yeah, it's wild, especially where you are.
Oh, please. I'm in ground zero of it on the West Coast. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Luke and we're in Nashville, and it's here, but it's not like it is out there.
No. But see, the trick is that anything coastal, like East Coast, West Coast, that's where it comes in.
Well, I'm thinking about you. I miss you.
Hey, man, listen, all I told Bruce is, you don't think that God's going to make all this happen for us and then all of a sudden, they take us out. That's not what I want to do.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're healthy and you're good. I want to talk to you about Kenny a little bit because I got to know Kenny later, and Kenny and I became really friendly in the later part of his life.
Well,
and I know you and him were close for years.
Well, let me be very honest with you. I just lost one of my heroes. That is the best way I can describe Kenny. Because of the fact that, I met him at a time in my life when I was trying to figure out life, transitioning from the Commodores into my solo career. And, God sent me an angel because this guy was probably one of the nicest guys I'd ever met in my life and full of knowledge, full of life knowledge. And he was able to, he was in a group called the First Edition. And everything I was about to experience as a young kid, he had already been through it. And so it was just a beautiful relationship that blossomed into something called a friendship forever. We have lived a lot of life together.
So when you write Lady, how long did you have that? Was that meant to get to him? Was that for you? Like, what was the story between you writing it and him recording it?
Well, it's all about, I think it's about God's plan because it was actually designed, the melody of it was supposed to be for the Commodores. And at that particular time, I had written, 3 Times a Lady and all these other songs. And so the guy said, you know what, Lionel, do you have anything else besides another love song? I said, well, I wrote a religious song, Jesus is Love. He said, well, take that. We like that. That's a good transition from what we're doing. So now I went from having another ballad to now having this thing sitting around. Well, I got a call from Kenny Rogers saying, do you have a song for me? And I said, Kenny, I'm quite honest with you. I have a song, but I don't have time to do it because the Commodores are going on tour in about 2 weeks. And I'm not going to be able to do it, but I'll do it when I come back. I hung up with the phone. About 3 days later, the drummer for the Commodores fell off his motorcycle, and I had 2 months of free time because he was recovering. And I called Kenny back and said, are you interested in that song? He said, absolutely. Well, the funny part about this story is my mumbles. I don't write the words because if you know anything about writing a song with the Commodores, for God's sakes, you don't finish the song because in 2 seconds they will say, we don't like it. What else do you have? So I always would have basically the first verse of it all and nothing else. Well, the song was called Baby, just Baby, ba 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 ba, right? And I now go to meet Kenny. And he had never heard a song pitched like this before because I've never pitched a song to anyone. So I walk in his backstage area of his show, and he said, okay, what's the song? And I said, well, he was telling me about he had just got married, and he's never in his life ever, and he's never married. I mean, he married a lady, a real lady, like Lionel. I mean, what am I doing with a lady? Me, of all people, So he said, oh, yeah, by the way, what's the name of the song? I said, Lady. I'm no fool.
Nice.
And then from there, of course, I said, Lady, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you. Ba 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 ba. He said, well, I said, do you like it? He said, well, where's the rest of the song? I said, well, no, I'll finish it if you like it. So he trusted me. Of course, he tells that story. You'll hear this story. He'll repeat the story back. He said, I couldn't believe that's all he played for me. And, of course, we went in the studio, and a massive hit. But he always teases me because while we were recording that song, I wrote 2 songs for him. The first song was called Going Back to Alabama, and the second song was Lady. Well, I thought just to warm up with Kenny, I'll do Going Back to Alabama first, just to get used to recording with him, and then we'll knock out Lady. Well, we get halfway through Going Back to Alabama. He said, Lionel, I don't really want to sing this song. Let's just sing Lady. Well, I didn't want to tell him I'd only written the first verse. So he sang the first verse, and then I said, I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom. And so I'm now in the bathroom writing the second verse to Lady. And, of course, the joke with Kenny was, if you want to get a great hit record from Lionel Richie, make sure he writes the second verse in the bathroom. But, of course, that was the story. But, I mean, it's all true, as crazy as it sounds. But it was just a massive, massive record for both of us.
Until I was kind of looking back at some old Kenny stuff, he sang on We Are the World, which you wrote.
Yeah, that was, I was very fortunate to, at the particular time, when I went into my solo career, I had Kenny there as my advisor, and the joke was I was hanging out with Kenny's manager, Ken Cragen. And so when I was looking for a manager, Kenny said, well, I got Ken right here. What do you think about that? And I just segued right to we had the same manager. So, of course, when I did We Are the World, naturally, with Michael, Kenny's going to be a part of that no matter what, because I just had to have him in there. And by that time, we were just 2 peas in a pot by that time. And, of course, We Are the World was just one of those, I think every once in a while God kind of possesses you and says, this is what you're really here to do. And the world needs to hear this song. And you need to deliver this message. And, of course, even to this day, someone asked me the other day, am I going to write another We Are the World? And I said, no, I'm just going to play We Are the World again. Because every time I try to write a new We Are the World, I keep writing the same lyrics that I wrote for We Are the World. The message is the same right now. We are challenged, but we are our brother's keeper right now. And we have to make sure that we are taking care of each other, because that's what God planned, and not to be, a tribe and a tribe and a tribe, but we keep being forced to do something together. And right now, this is that time in life to hear those words again. And I must admit that song resonates today like it did, 30-some-odd years ago, 35 years ago.
Well, I know that you and Kenny were dear friends, and I appreciate you sharing the stories about him, and I appreciate you being so friendly and so kind to me. Like, I love you too. You just have been, Lionel, you just have been the best to me. You didn't need to be, but you just have been the best to me.
Well, you know what? I have to tell you something. I've been trained by some very famous people, and when I say that, when I met Kenny Rogers, you couldn't get any bigger than Kenny Rogers. That was the gambler I walked in on. And I must tell you, in less than 15 seconds, he made me feel like we grew up together back in Houston, Texas. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I learned a big trick, and that is, if you're famous, if you're really famous, you don't have to scare anybody to death. You just have to be as nice as you possibly can, because they're already uncomfortable when they first meet you. And I must admit, you were so quiet when I first met you, I figured I got to cheer you up a little bit. You didn't make that much noise at all, but, I kind of thought maybe he doesn't want to talk to me. But you are the sweetest guy, and I'm to tell you, now that we're with the show together, I mean, this is just too much fun, and we were meant to be together. But don't worry, I think we've got a lot more life to go, Bobby.
I think so too, and You know, I love you. You're so good on American Idol, and
Oh man, back at you.
you still like doing the show. You still love doing the show.
Can I tell you something? I am having, truthfully, the best time ever in my life. When I first started, I kept thinking, okay, now what am I doing? Because I've got Luke at the other end of the table, and I'm not quite sure what Luke's going to say. And Luke scares me, but he's so funny, and we've become the best of friends. I'm actually, you know, I feel like Luke and Lionel are like Kenny and Lionel. You know, it's so crazy. And then, of course, Katie. When Katie scares the two of us, you know we're in trouble. But you know what I must say? I think about your job. You have the tough job, because after we deal with them in front of us, we hand them back to you, and they're a nervous wreck.
They're nervous
Before
going
they
in, nervous coming out.
Oh my God! I mean, I don't know if I could do your job. Your job is you have to put them together to face us, and then pull them back together. But I must tell you, I'm enjoying the show. It is a delight, and the most part, I think that the world needs a little compassion when they see us on that show. Those kids are very brave, and I just love kind of being the mentor for them.
I'm gonna play us out here. What's your one, Lionel? You have one song. The crowd, it's a stadium. They say you only get to play one song, Lionel. What are you gonna play?
If I had to play one song, it'd be my theme song, which is Easy Like Sunday Morning. I think that's just the way I feel.
Man, listen, I love you. I'll see you soon. Be safe, my friend.
All right, my friend, and tell everyone, all the listeners out there, hang in there. This is going to be a rough ride, but God will get us through this.
All right, Lionel. See you later, friend.
All right, my brother. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys, it's Bobby Bones. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and then go check it out. A lot of artists, a lot of songwriters, a lot of music. Welcome to the BobbyCast channel.